Okay, so 1300 kilometer update on the i20 N9. Actually, I'm pretty surprised how much I've driven this car in the past few weeks. I think this is the less than a month old this car is, and I've already done 1300 kilometers on it. 1336 to be exact. And I'm pretty happy with it. The car it ticks all the reasons why I bought this car, which was primarily to have an efficient yet fun to drive hatchback for city commutes. And this car has been both. I mean, even at city speed, which is around 30-40 kilometers an hour maximum, the car is extremely fun to drive, particularly because of the way it handles. Wow, somebody is flying. Okay. Yeah. So sorry. Particularly because the way this car handles, even at low speeds, it is so much more engaging to drive, and particularly because it doesn't have that much power. Hyundai claims 120 or something horsepower in this. I think that's little overstatement. But because it doesn't have too much power, there is very little chance of things going wrong in terms of sliding, in terms of wheel spin, in terms of all kinds of shenanigans that you can do with this car. You can avoid most of that. So I figured out one thing is that the car has some kind of programming for drive modes, although you can't select it directly. But the way the car behaves in terms of throttle mapping, in terms of gearbox shifts in D and in S are totally different. I've tried this quite a bit, that I would keep the same accelerator pedal pressure in D and in S, and the response from the engine would be drastically different in both the modes. So there is some sort of fishiness that Hyundai has done with this. Very good, because you want, in S mode you want the car to be very responsive. In D mode you want it to be quiet. You want it to be lethargic and lazy unless you really floor it. So that is a huge bonus, especially when you're driving in traffic. If I want to overtake, either use the paddles or I just shift it in S mode, and I have all the power I need for overtaking at the tip of my fingers. So let me just show you guys what I mean in terms of the two drive modes that it has. So I'm maintaining a maybe about 30% throttle pedal input in D, and now I'll go back now there to the same thing in S. Okay, S 30% drive throttle pedal input. Yeah. So that's the difference. And I have a sheepish feeling. I'm not very sure about this because I don't have the right software to data log this car very well, but I will figure out a way to go and read all the data channels on the ECU to figure out how it's doing it. I have a sheepish feeling that this car has two boost maps. One is meant for one boost map activates when you're in D mode, another boost map activates when you're in S mode. So a lot of people have complained that this car is a little laggy in D mode, and I also found it that way. But once you get used to it, it's not that lag doesn't bother you too much, because once you're up to speed, once you're in third gear, then the lag doesn't bother you that much. In first 2 gears there it's a little laggy, but then it's a 3-cylinder. But that lag somehow seems to be engineered into this car than being an inherent property of the motor and the tune. So the way I'm guessing Hyundai has worked its engineers to create this cushy, lethargic, lazy driving mode in D is that they keep the electronic wastegate of the turbo open longer, so the turbo does not build boost until up to 2,500 RPM when you're driving in D. But when you're in S, the car closes the wastegate much more aggressively, and it builds the boost up much faster than it would do in D mode. So it's basically like having a economy and a sport mode in your engine maps, which is what Volkswagen and most of the other car companies do. This one doesn't explicitly say it, but once you start driving around, once you get used to driving this car around, you will figure out that the engine response is drastically different. Not only the engine response, the turbocharger response is drastically different in both the modes. So in D mode I was driving, now if I put in S mode, and it really likes to go. And one thing I've done is I've removed the engine cover, the sound deadening insulator from the engine cover. That helps keep the engine cooler. It's a 3-cylinder engine, not gonna get really hot, but it also makes a nice noise. So you can hear the engine a bit more inside the car than we were normally doing earlier. So there. So definitely has two different engine throttle and boost maps built into this car. It's very evident from the way the car's behavior at the same RPM completely changes when you put the shifter in DNS.